My goodness.
Yeah, the plot thickens.
Ooh, I believe we are live once again on Tuesday.
Again?
Again! And
Again? Are
we
you
have a very
sure?
special guest.
Right. Well, this is Escrow Tuesdays, episode 20. We reached the 20 mark,
Oh,
and we
I
reserved
know.
it for our special guest out here. How you doing, Narhee? How was your Christmas?
Quiet,
Quiet.
but good. We did a
Quiet.
Christmas drive-by.
Yeah.
There's
Did
such a
Santa
thing.
wear a mask when he visited your chimney?
I hope
No?
so.
You never know, right? Did you leave the cookies in little baggies? Yeah, make sure, right?
Yeah, with some, gloves and.
Hand sanitizer, whatever. Wow, what a crazy world this is. Well, again, my name is Charles Swanberg, Caimeiju Realty. This is Escrow Tuesdays, and my co-host here, Narhee Nguyen with Tower Escrow. Today we have an awesome special guest, and she is an amazing realtor. She's gives a lot to the community, especially through ARIA and many other means. Samantha Tov, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, thank you. Hi,
How,
Charles.
how was your Christmas?
It was good. I just stayed home, cooked, probably gained a few more pounds than I wanted, but
Hey, we're all in that kind of category. I've got my pandemic 30. Forget about the 20 at this point. Yeah. So tell us about yourself, Sam. It's we know you do a lot for real estate stuff, but how did you end up in Sacramento and from zero to hero?
oh my God, my story. I was born in Cambodia in 1973. I think.
We don't have to get that detailed. You could name the city and state, but you don't have to tell us which hospital and what year and day.
So I've popped around a lot. So from Oklahoma, I was sponsored to Oklahoma City, so in the heart of the United States.
Oh wow,
My parents worked really hard, but language barrier was a big thing.
sure.
But, they became homeowners after a year immigrating into the United States. And growing up, I helped translate at the start at the age of 7 years old for my parents. And you going back to the ARIA message of home ownership and stuff.
Yes.
And I remember when my parents bought their first house in 1981. I remember the Remax balloon, and that was like something that I grew up with. And then we sold that house and we moved to California because there was more minorities, and for them to be able to be business owners and to have the opportunity with other Asian speaking people, it was easier for them. So we packed up, drove across country to California, and they worked in different restaurants. Kim Tar restaurant, that's in San Gabriel. They worked at another restaurant you probably know. I think it's called 828 right now, but that used to be my mom's restaurant, first Chihuahua restaurant, seafood restaurant on Atlantic and Garvey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They used to have a restaurant in Chinatown Express on Vermont, in front of LA City College, and it's funny where you're at, Charles. Your office and stuff is near my neck of the hoods. I grew up in Rosemead. I graduated Rosemead High School.
Right.
I got married and I moved to San Francisco, and then I moved to Sacramento just to build a business for my father-in-law and my brother-in-law so they can work and whatnot. And then I got my real estate license in LA, but I didn't really practice it until my kids were in preschool. So I
Oh, I
started
see.
up here in 2004, and I've been in real estate ever since.
Wow. So you were in Rosemead, which, like you said, my neck of the business was, at least anyway. It's for most people who don't realize it, that is probably the most Asian area of the United States outside of perhaps Hawaii, by far. I mean, you could drive for miles. You could start from, Valley, and you could even say Fremont Avenue and go east. And I mean, literally, you run out of gas before you run out of, Chinese characters on signs. So it's literally, it is, man. And then it just goes beyond that. So it is an amazing thing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So your family's in the restaurant business, but what made you go into the real estate?
So when my first wedding, I think my teacher, my high school teacher from Rosemead, my entrepreneur teacher in personal finance, and he saw me working in the restaurant. He's like, "This isn't for you. You have so much to offer." My parents didn't believe in letting me go to college. I really wanted to be an attorney. I applied without them knowing. I was going to go to Cal State Northridge and become an attorney. And
Wow.
my teacher helped me get in, past the due dates for acceptance, but the dean of administration loved me and got me into the school, and I was going to run away and go to school there.
Wow.
Run away.
Run away to go to school. Nice.
Usually run away to do something a lot more diabolical.
Ambitious. So ambitious.
I did not want to be in the restaurant business. I got my student ID, got my apartment, everything. I was going to run away and just go, because my parents grew up in this in this different world that they said that women didn't need to go to college. They didn't need to get educated. Everything was going to be like put in front of me that I didn't need to. And a month before I was going to run away and just do that, they bought a restaurant for me on Vermont Boulevard, and the Chinatown Express. And, they paid a lot of money. They paid $180,000 for this restaurant, and I couldn't see myself in running away. So I gave up going to college and then just running the business. But a year later, the Rodney King riot happened. The whole Vermont Boulevard was all trash, and we came back, like, we locked up. We just saw a mob of people coming down Vermont Boulevard. It was the scariest thing besides going through the war.
Oh.
And
Was that the early 90s with the riots?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh
my.
Riot. So my restaurant was totally destroyed. I rebuilt it within a week, opened it with wood panelings on the windows and whatnot. And my chef said they didn't want to come to work because they were scared. And, I was 18, 19. I was like fierce, no fear.
That's right. No fear. No fear, Sam.
You're fired, I'll do your work. I'll do your job. We had lines out the door, people, but it's crazy. The community looted us, rioted us, but then they came back and supported us. It was just like, really? But, and then, we rebuilt all that and stuff. But, a lot of things happened in my life. But it made me a stronger person. After the riot happened, we rebuilt, and then China had this big old flood. My mom was a big owner of this Chinese seafood restaurant in Atlantic and Garvey, one of the busiest dim sum restaurants at that time. The Chinese government asked for help. My mom donated proceeds for one weekend. We donated $45,000 to China's flood.
Wow.
Back in 91 or 92. And so after that, they invited me, my mom's kids, to go to China for a month. So we went there for a month, and then just to learn the Chinese culture from the government and stuff. My parents paid for it, all that. And when we came back, my mom was supposed to go. Her whole goal and dream was to find her dad. From the war, she got split up from her father.
Oh, wow.
Her father, this is 13 years coming to America. And the Chinese government vowed to help her find her father. And she was going to go in January 1993 to go look for her father, because the Chinese, we have a few addresses and stuff. But in December, my mom was kidnapped and her life was taken in December of 92. So 19, I grew up really fast. I took care of the 3-family business. We had a donut shop. We had a Chinese fancy restaurant. We had a Chinese restaurant. I became head of household. It's been a huge burden.
Right.
I promised my mom that I would always take care of my dad. My dad still lives with me. I have a casita in the back of my house here. And my brother and sisters actually moved up here now to Sacramento with me. We split up for a while. I got married in San Francisco. And it's kind of like an arranged marriage at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to help people. My then husband was, he needed, my help and status wise to stay here and whatnot. And I gave him that. And, he was a traveling salesman for his, a big national import export company. I always did stuff for others and not really anything for myself. I was trying to follow my mom's path, just giving back and helping.
You can speak up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't hear.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've always been tried to help follow my mom's dreams and just helping others and giving back. and I started real estate within a year in. My husband left and left me with the kids. They were 5 and 6, and I became a single mom. And you're trying to start the real estate business, and being a single mom is not easy. It's really, really.
That's tough. And although that is one of the beauties of special residential real estate is you've got the flexibility to be able to juggle, although it's difficult, you can juggle, make your own kind of schedule and do that. And we have a lot of that happening, right?
Yeah, I tell a lot of people who said that they're single parents and stuff, I go, real estate actually gives you a really flexible schedule that you
Right.
can set it. The best advice that I got was from one of the agents when I first started, because buyers were getting pissed off at me. I was, oh, I can't make that time. I got to go pick up my kids. I got to take my kids to the doctor. They don't care about your personal life.
Yeah, especially commercial real estate. They're like, hey, but yeah, but I think things have changed in the last 10 years. I think it's accepted to, you've got to juggle and, right?
What I learned from his message was you set your kids as an appointment. You set all
There
your
you go.
life as an appointment, and your clients will actually respect you for that. So it's how you talk and how you say stuff is how you respect back. So
Right.
that was the best advice I got my first year in real estate.
Well, you've done an amazing job. You are, portfolio real estate in Sacramento. I mean, when I think of Sacramento real estate, I mean, you pop up. You're now affiliated with Side, of course. Myself and Amy Kong are, which is a brokerage that doesn't take anybody, right? I mean, you've got some minimum sales standards that you got to meet to even be considered. So definitely consider the cream of crop. So with all of this going on with single parenting, and of course now afterwards you're not anymore, but a lot of juggling, and you still have time to give back. And so now you're heavily involved with Aria for a while. Tell us that story. How did you find Aria, or did Aria find you?
Both. When you're a newer agent, you kind of just like follow, like, how are these people getting so many listings, or
Right.
how are they closing deals? And I stumbled upon this Aria when it started in 2010.
Okay.
I was still kind of a newbie. I would always go to the local association for all their trainings, all their events. I would go anywhere just to network.
Right.
Network is the key to success, right? So, and then I stumbled upon Aria. They had this, kickoff event at our local association. So it's actually advertising our local association. If you book their main meeting room, you can advertise it. And I saw it, so I went and I met Alan Okamoto. I met the founder there, and I met so many agents.
Right.
At that time. And mind you, that this is during the REO days.
Sure.
So
yeah.
A lot of the REO agents were there, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I get to meet this person. I get to meet that person.
Right. I could meet Ivan Choi. He was with Countrywide at the time, right? I mean, like he was the guy, he was the gatekeeper guy for all the REOs, I believe.
Yeah. So you're like, wow. They go, it's $99 to join. I go, sign me up. I mean,
that's right.
Meet all these people. I'm like, you can't get better than that. Since then, I've been a member every year. I've gone to every event, volunteer. I didn't know anything, and they were like, "Oh, we need volunteers." I volunteered. They have golf. I don't even like golf. I didn't even know anything about golf. You know what? I learned, and I kept volunteering. I kept meeting people, knowing people, and you know what? Since day one, some of the friends that I've met from that event has still became my friends here.
Right.
That's so true.
Show, and a few more. A lot of them have came and gone, but a lot of them are still my extended family.
Right. So you are going to events, every event, you're volunteering, but from the 17,000 or so active and current members, there's only 41 chapter presidents, and there's only 5 regional reps. So who sat you down, and got you to drink, just like what little guy here is drinking?
Yeah.
Oreo Kool-Aid.
At me, their whiskey on the side.
Yeah. Who got you heavily involved? Who said, Samantha, we see you coming to all these events. Now it's time to, be on the board, be the president.
Who asked me to be hard to join the executive board that saw something in me is probably Vicky Serrano told Ken Alvarino, who was one of our founding board, that you should get Samantha back on board to rebuild Sacramento because we were big at one time and then it kind of slowed down and then now we're building bigger and better, right? And when Ken called me up and told me, hey, Vicky wants you to apply for to be on the board, I'm like, why? I'm too busy. And they go, oh, they see a lot in you, but just having someone tapped on your shoulder and just call you out, it just means a lot. The national president
Right.
knows my name, really. I was like, that's a big deal, right? But and then I met. I was part of Women's Council at the time, being president, and then I met another ARIA member in that did a referral thing on Facebook, and I helped her aunt. And I never really met her in person until I went to a women's council, and then she was in front of me, and she's like, it was Amy Lee, and Amy Lee's like, hey Sam, go with me. I want you to meet Angie. And I was like, I don't know you. I'm not going to get in your car. She waited around at the around in the women's cancer event for about a couple hours with me, just networking. She goes, okay, are you ready to go meet Angie? I was like, really? So she was really close with Angie Lee at the time.
Right.
And they were go to this, the national, where they all stayed. Jim Parks was there, John Wong was there, and a few other people was all there. And I'm all like, I don't even fit in. I'm all like, and she's introducing me to all these people. One thing led to another, and it's like, wow, these are all normal people. Don't be afraid. All these ARIA people that are part of ARIA, they're all just regular people with giving hearts. They will talk to you. They will share their insights. They will be friends with you. If you call them, I'm sure they'll say, what can I do to help? And that's the best part about being an ARIA member or giving back to ARIA, being part of that. It's like, I've known Charles, I think through Amy, she introduced me.
I was going to mention, it was Vicky Silvano flew in LA and go, hey, we need to rebuild a chapter. And I was one of the, folks that showed up, and it was Amy actually that gathered all the people up. So, although I was familiar with ARIA a little bit, I completely, blame Amy for all of the things I'm doing now with ARIA. Truly, yeah. And then, of course, I remember we were at the GLS in, in Seattle, right? And we were running around the Seattle campus. Some funny pictures. No.
We all bonded much more in Seattle.
Yeah. No, exactly. Wow.
But Kool-Aid, you can't go backwards, right? Just keep giving more and more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you you buy more and more. That's it. You buy into the membership, and then you gain a lot more.
Well, as we know, if we drink too much of a good thing, sometimes we get a little crazy, right?
Like our crazy escrow stories, maybe. I love the escrow reps, sales reps. They're all a huge factor here in Sacramento. We got all the title reps coming out and volunteering. I mean, they've been members. Like we have Michelle Kloss that's always says, what can I do? You're doing the ARIA adoption. I want to be part of the ARIA. I want to sponsor our family. They don't ask for any money back from ARIA. They just do it out of the kindness of their heart. And we have Regina. We have a few others. I mean, all of them, they see what you're involved in. And if they want your business, they're going to get involved. So I love that mentality. It's called a partnership and building relationships. So thank you for co-hosting this. Because if I was in LA, you would probably get all my business.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you.
Back and trust me, if they want my business, they have to be involved in I'm getting that.
Right. So now with all that real estate experience, and then with all these ARIA stories, I mean, you must have one or two crazy escrow stories. I know it's combined up there, but you have.
The first time the first year I did real estate, it was so funny. I had to learn what a crazy escrow was, or the different types of escrow. I thought escrow was escrow, but I remember someone came up to me. They wanted to sell their dad's house, but then he had no money. I was like, he couldn't sign off. He was the only son. I had to go to the more to pay for his dad's cremation to get the death certificate before he can.
Holy moly!
So every transaction is very different, and I learned. I was like, I have to call the escrow. I was like, what do I have to do? What I need, it's like building that relationship, and they teach you as you go. Everybody, handholds you. But there's so many different types of escrow. People think that escrow is from A to Z, just like that. No, there is like left turns, right turns. There's circles, roundabouts, and stuff. But I learn a lot. So I'm in awe of what you guys do and how you guys come up with things, and just the titles and different paths. It's amazing. I know you guys probably don't get enough credit, but you guys do a lot behind the scenes to make it good. So thank you.
You do, Narhee.
Yeah.
So we started off good with, like a death certificate and dead bodies, but we didn't make them into the closet. Was there one transaction that was like an absolute nightmare that you could describe?
One recently, one of my agents got an escrow, and the escrow says we cannot insure this because we feel like it has elderly abuse. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Wow. What did you do to those poor, what did you do to that poor couple to get that listing, Samantha?
Represented the buyers, and the listing agent represented this person. This person, the escrow company says, it's kind of like red flag when you get the death certificate and a will that was dated like the day before he died. It looks like it was.
Oh, wow.
So that was really hard. You got to get attorneys involved to prove that there was no illegal stuff and that it wasn't like you pushed them to sign it and then killed them off. I was like, wow.
Holy moly.
I go,
well, I'm getting chills. I mean, my hair is like,
it's like you sign it and it's like,
well, who would have thought, right? You would think, they're just the buyers just want to buy the property, and this all comes out, and it's just like, it's really spooky. This is a country property out here in suburbs areas. I was like, I tell my agents, I go, wow, you come up with the craziest escrows. There's another one where it's like an agent did a for sale by owner, but her name, it's kind of the owner financing. You take over my payments and this and that. Now we can't even sell it because her LLC is no longer active from Wyoming, and we can't. No title would insure it or take it. So we can't even sell it, and she doesn't want to provide anything, and now we're stuck. So it's like, what do we do? How is there real estate attorneys that we can talk to? How can we find something like that? So she's tried all the different escrow companies, and no one can help her because no one wants to touch it and stuff. But there's a lot of things happening, so people just have to be very aware. Like if you see the owner's willing to do financing, but you pull up title, the owner is not the person on title. The person on title has and the loan. It's just like people just have to be really careful and really read your prelims and make sure that every escrow can be insured. If it cannot be insured, that raises red flags to protect yourself. So I learned a lot through COVID. There is a lot of craziness out there. There's a lot of crazy escrows and a lot of red flags to watch out for.
Yeah, always good for the owner to actually own the house that you're listing or you're representing the buyer. Always, but that does happen. Quick claims, interfamily stuff all the time, and so that's wow. That's but the elderly abuse kind of thing. I really never considered that, especially with with the will being signed the day before, right? I mean, that's just wow. That's like real reality craziness. Wow. All right. Well, thank you for sharing the stories. I'm sure you have many. I'm sure it's like when you think about a crazy story, you're probably thinking, Charles, they're all crazy. What are you talking about?
Every file has a story.
Yeah,
we could write novels over here.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
When you think a deal is too good to be true, then it's
right.
How we looking?
Looking good.
Oh yeah. Look at that. I still haven't changed it. May never change. Who knows? All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. As you know, what could happen in escrow, Narhee?
Anything and everything, right,
That's
Samantha?
Right. There is Sam. Of course, she is the Northwest regional rep this year, but has given a lot. Look at all those $37 plaques behind her. There's so much that she's done, and of course, she has been a common, contributor, and of course, an ARIA A-lister. So that's awesome. So, we talked, and we got Samantha's top 5 here on thriving through the pandemic. And sorry, I put the question mark there, but maybe that is important because it is so unknown. We didn't know, there's no book in the Tommy Hopkins how to deal with the pandemics during real estate, courses, right? Everyone kind of had to do it on the fly. So I'll start with number 1. It says continuing learning and evolving. No kidding, right? I mean,
Yeah, through COVID, NAR has a lot of classes at like 50% off. So agents should take advantage of all the destinations that you can do. Even ARIA has the new build at a discount too. During COVID, you have all these Zoom classes and they're giving you discounts. Agents should take advantage of that. And that's how you're going to get out of this, being more educated and to evolve yourself as a better person and do your
right. Yeah, there are a lot of resources.
Positive attitude and gratefulness. I think that describes you, Samantha.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many calls you get and you're like, oh my God, another agent that's like new and stuff. But you just have to help them. Just take a breath and just walk them through it and help them. I tell people all the time, you don't have to be on my team or my company. If you want my help, just call me and I'll be happy to share any advice and stuff. It's called paying forward because other people have done that for me in the past. So I'm just paying forward. Being gratefulness is just being grateful that we all still have jobs. I mean, out of everybody getting laid off and all that stuff, real estates and lenders and escrows, we're all still working. We all still have our jobs. We're busier than ever. It's
right.
Busy right now because of the low interest rate. If you're not busy, you need to find a mentor that's going to help you, walk you through it, and get you busy.
Yeah, absolutely. This year, I mean, we have to be so thankful because from top to bottom, whether you're an escrow or home warranty or, you're a broker agent, whatever, I mean, real estate has been business-wise good even during shutdowns and pandemics. And we really have been able to, really adapt. So, you still have to be accountable, but yet resilient. And that's a lot that I'm sure new agents really need to kind of understand also.
Being accountable and resilient and partnering up with a good escrow company and having them come and train the new agents or just telling them what's new, if there's new forms being added for realtors, imagine the different kind of guidelines and added stuff for the escrow companies as well. They have to re-educate themselves. They have to share that. And I love having escrow company come in and train my team. Every company is different and they have different tools and resources and apps and stuff. It's amazing the partnership that you can have, and working with the right person, escrow companies and whatnot, and they have your back. And you can always count on them, and they will make you shine. You don't have to toot your horn; they will do it for you if you work with the right people. Just partner up.
Yeah, and that really backs the next part. Really is you got to surround yourself.
A successful tribe.
I surround myself with all these ARIA family. I don't know, all 41 chapters. When anybody that has somebody says, I'm like, I became the go-to person. I get other side partners in the Bay Area. He goes, Sam, I need an agent in New York. I go, no problem. I need an agent in Boston. I go, no problem. I pull up the ARIA people that I've met. And if I met you, I save my contact and I put down which ARIA chapter and I just pull it up on my info. I go, ARIA Boston, boom, all these agents, lenders pop up. I just share it. So, I don't even send them to the ARIA website. I actually send them to the people that have actually contacted or I know.
Right. I mean, these are people you know and met and people you don't even have to look up on a list. You think of Boston, you already automatically know the names. You think of DC, you think of Las Vegas, you know them all, they're your friends. Even better, right? So, sorry, I stole your number 4, Narhee. So
you could set.
You're better at number 5
goals.
than I am anyway.
So how do we set and measure goals, Samantha?
I do a visionary board with my team every year, and I tell them, "What's your goal?" If I don't have any goals, I can work on it. I go, this is what I want you to do. If you're a newer agent, I want you to sell at least 2 homes a month. Can you put that on your goal? If you even reach half of it, you've already have a goal. If you don't have a goal, then you don't have a way of getting up every day. If you set goals for yourself and you measure it by action and having an accountability partner, it's actually going to help you get there and achieve it and then surpass it as well. So I think that's what's worked for my team. You know, we're all like family, and they always come to me. It's like, Sam, I got no buyers. I got no this. I go, what are you doing wrong? Are you not doing your 5 text message, 5 emails, 5 messenger, social media, going out, going networking? You know, networking we can't do right now, but you know, the other stuff we can. And there's so many Zoom online stuff. Go meet new people online.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And then put your logo up top so people see where you're from or whatever. So no, it actually does kind of work, you know, these networking things. And join, I don't know if your real estate boards actually have, you know, online caravans and stuff we do in Southern California. It's good just to show your face, even if it's with other agents, which, you know, typically, if you don't know them very well, maybe they're adversaries, but, you know, it's always good to know the agents, that because who knows who's, you know, property you're going to make an offer on next, right? It's always good to know people.
The best advice to tell people is don't burn bridges.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Build them, don't burn them, right? All right. Thank you, Sam. Well, we will, I'm sure these are just some amazing top 5 things that everyone should kind of take a look at. I mean, yeah, listen to Sam. She's successful. Look at this stuff and just do it. All right. Well, are you ready, Sam? We've got a special surprise for you. To get right down to it, we are going to go over Samantha's New Year Eve costumes over the years. It took me hours of research. Of course, we're not going to do that. Sorry. It's just a joke. But that is a pretty funny thing. Right? All right. So we are actually going to do a wino quiz. I know you mentioned you're not a big wine drinker. Maybe you are. But you do have a lot of wines and stuff. So we're going to post some labels and some bottles of wine. And you got to identify the brand or take a guess. Okay. All right. Ready? Here we go. Number 1.
Opus.
Okay. That's all. And do you know the background behind Opus 1?
No.
All right. Well, it was obviously Mondavi and it was Chateau Lafite Rothschilds. It was kind of a co-venture. So that's why it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, the 2 folks, right? Now that makes sense. Now I even learned. All right. Well, that's an easy one.
You know, champagne.
Well, does that look familiar, the label? Yeah, of course, that's Dom Perignon. It's one of the original ones. I mean, people started using Roder Cristal for rap videos because it was more shiny later, but that was still the classic. Here's one.
I know that one.
You know that one?
No, I don't.
Okay. This one is a famous vintage. It's actually Petrus, and some good stuff. You get a hold of a case of that, or a brand new car, either one. They're probably worth about the same. Pretty expensive stuff. All right. The next one I think you are familiar with. Oh wait, that's a different one. But this might be something you might be popping open in a couple of days.
Oh, that's nice. Champagne.
Yeah, that's become kind of also a standard rap video kind of champagne, but that's called the Ace of Spades. It's by Armand. Can't read that. It's a French one, but pretty good stuff. It goes good with Beluga, I heard, if you can afford it.
I like Beluga.
All right. Yeah, so here we go. I think this is actually one of your favorite wines or favorite things to have. What was that?
Caimeiju.
That's right. You are right. That is Caimeiju. Good job. Do you have a favorite Caimeiju?
All Caimeijus are good.
Good stuff, right? Yeah. It's got that similar kind of labeling. Everyone kind of does that little figurine at the top there. All right. Here's another fine brand, I would say, as equal to Caimeiju.
What is that? Good?
Yeah, that's Barefoot. These are usually $1.99 at your local Trader Joe's, so probably not the same thing. Narhee, have you ever had Barefoot?
No.
Oh God, really? It's good stuff. All right, here's one that's local in California. That's right. Very good. I got to visit that earlier this year.
It's good wine.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, right? All right, and here is the last one. Gee, it looks like any old brand, right? I'll give you a hint. They are involved with Opus One.
Is that BD?
Yeah, no, that was the Chateau Lafite Rothschild. You know, probably about $1,800 a bottle for some of the cheaper stuff. Pretty crazy. You could actually, if you have some vintage ones, you could actually send it back to France and have it recorked if they think it's drying out a little bit. Crazy.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway, a lot of stuff. So yeah, probably not a whole lot of this being broken. Maybe privately in your homes, but it's too bad. You know, during shutdown, we're not going to be able to spray the champagne bottle like a Grand Prix winner, you know, during New Year's Eve. So anyway, hey,
boy.
upcoming next on Escrow Tuesdays, a few people you might know, Sam. We've got Elena Lau, who is the CDC chair this year. She was also the Boston chapter president up until like probably the end of this month, a few days. I don't know how she holds so many jobs like you, Sam. And of course, Garrett Gang, who was the former East, what do they call it? The Greater East Bay chapter is now the vice chair. And of course, he was the regional for Northwest that you now have, Sam. So good old Garrett, Mr. TikTok himself. Are you on TikTok, Sam? No? Okay. Well, Sam, if you're not on TikTok, but if you are on our YouTube channel, listening to yourself over and over, you might want to hit that subscribe button so we know it's you doing the 40 views over and over again. But anyway, we really appreciate it. Like I said, in past shows, me and Narhee are trying to monetize this show to make a minimum of $400,000 each. And we need 1 million subscribers. And I think we're about 990,999 short. Yeah, getting close. You know, like I'm $1 million away from being a millionaire, right? So
nice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here was a kind of a fun favorite picture. It was actually well before pandemic days, obviously in Boston, but look at that group of people there. You know, you've got Elena, current chapter president of Sacramento, and of course, Amy Kahn, the president. You can see Brian On's nose there. He's too tall to be in the picture. You have Jasmine, who was on our CDC committee last year. What a cool person she is. And some knucklehead in army suit. So
that's you.
So Sam, thank you so much for being here and just taking your time in between Christmas and New Year's. I know usually it's a quiet time, but I imagine during pandemic real estate times it's probably just as busy as any, trying to get deals closed, right?
Yeah, we're trying to close up our last few deals. I think we have a signing New Year's Eve.
Oh
wow. You recorded the same day, right?
Right. Anything upcoming that we should know about through CDC or from the Sacramento chapter you'd like to plug, Sam?
No, I know that there's a lot of installations coming. So if anybody is available, join in on the virtual installation. I think there's one tomorrow. I think it's Fresno chapter.
Oh, is that right? Okay. And then when is Sacramento having theirs?
We're going to have it the middle of January.
Okay.
Are you going to play up for that? We can go play golf.
Yeah, if I could disguise myself, and we could post it and say it was 2019, sure.
Really all the ARIA events, hopefully
I know
that we can do. The cure will be around and we can go back to business as usual and doing our networking and continuing to grow the ARIA.
Yeah. Well, amen to that. I'm looking forward to it. Any last words for 2020, as in 3 or 4 days we're out of here?
On 2020 and just like move forward, more wishing everybody lots of safety, good health, and secure networking, being everyone's life.
All right. Well, thank you, Sam, again for being on Escrow Tuesdays, episode 20. Have an amazing New Year's Eve and New Year's celebration. We will see you guys next in January. So Charles Swanberg here signing off, my co-host Narhee Nguyen, and we have the great Samantha Tov. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care.